Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today we have a knife review. And I know it might be a while between my knife reviews lately, but here it is. This one I'm super excited about, and in my mind, this is the best SOG knife. This is the SOG Terminus XR. Oops, terrible deployment there. Operator error. What's up, guys? So I am super pumped for this knife. This is a knife based off the original design of the SOG Terminus right here, and we'll do a little bit of comparison with it, and you'll be able to see the influence on either one, but seriously, awesome. Super excited. Love a lot of features on this knife. Love a lot of colors, and I'll tell you right off the bat, for the price, with this model that I have specifically here, it's totally worth it in my mind. So if that's what you're waiting for, do I recommend it? Yes, I do recommend it, but I'll explain the reasons why as we get into this video. So that being said, let's go over some specs. First off, the total length of the knife is 7.21 inches. The blade length is 2.95 inches. The closed length, or basically handle length, is 4.26 inches. The blade thickness is 0.10 inches thick. And it's made out of D2 tool steel, so the blade is D2. And then it has an overall weight of 3.2 ounces. So those are the overall specs. Honestly, they speak for themselves as far as like quality and size. You can see in my hands how well it fits. But like always, we will first talk about the blade and the steel. So right off the bat, it's designed, said that it's a clip point, and you do have that clip point there. It isn't like a swooping clip point, but it does have a sharp downward angle there. And then it has a nice decorative swedge there that makes it really good for slicing and penetrating. It's definitely a penetrating tip, as well as it's a flat plain edge blade, stonewash, which actually looks really nice. I am pretty happy with the stonewash on it. I do like the thumb studs that are blacked out, just kind of a nice touch to match the rest of the hardware, and we'll get into that. So on the one face side, we have SOG Terminus XR, and then on the other side we have their little SOG beret here. Well, anyways, you can kind of see it. It's their little skull beret guy. And then it says Cryo D2. So there are thumb studs on either side. Once you follow that swedge up top, you do have some jimping on the top of the blade. That's I'd say it's like a medium jimping, pretty functional, works really well. I do like it. The other thing that I really like, I always like when they have a sharpening choil built into the blade there, so we have that. We also have this flipper tab that comes out, and there is enough real estate there that if you do want to bite up on that a little bit for finer carving, it does allow it, but it doesn't seem to be a designated finger choil, like a full finger choil. So just be careful if you choose to bite up on that. But I will say there is enough for doing that. So pretty cool. Like I said, it does have thumb studs, but it is a flipper. And there is some jimping on top of that flipper as well. Flips really well. It was a little stiff when I first got it, but after playing with it for a little bit, works just fine. So moving into that, we then go into the handle, which is kind of my favorite part of this knife. I mean, overall, I like the overall design and aesthetics to it. It just has a really cool look. But I do love these red G10 handle scales. I don't have many knives with red handles, but this is they call it their crimson color. And as you can see, it is a dark crimson-y looking color, which in my mind just looks really cool. It isn't like overly bright red to draw too much attention. It just has that nice deep rich red color. So really digging the scales. And like I said before, all the hardware is blacked out. So we have the torque screws. The pivot is kind of a stepped pivot. It doesn't stick out much, which is nice. And then you do have these thumb sliders for what they call their XR lock. So they're calling this mechanism the XR lock, which is essentially your bench-made axis lock, but they brand it XR. So I guess any SOG knife now that has that XR in the name means that it'll probably have this lock, which is kind of neat. On the reverse side, we do have the SOG pocket clip. It is very deep carry, really nice, and you can switch it to either left or right tip up only. There is one problem that I found with this pocket clip, but it's a minor ding on it, and it's definitely not a deal breaker in any sense, because this knife is just too sweet. Loving it. So yeah, as well, there is I think like a glass-filled nylon back spacer in there, and then stainless steel liners. And because it has this XR lock, it is ambidextrous, both left or right hand carry, which is pretty cool. The other thing I like too is that it is milled out in here, so they actually took the time to mill out some cutouts in there to lighten the load, and it's kind of neat because, let's see, you can actually see the cutouts and how they illuminate. If I can get this in there. There we go. So you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like a center one back there. So it's pretty neat. Lightens the load, and it looks kind of cool. It seems like it's part of the design. So let's take a look. And I will say, like, honestly, SOG, my friends that are part of my knife group, we don't necessarily have the best thoughts on SOG. I mean, there's a few models out there that I've liked, but in general, SOG is a really tactical brand, and I'm not really into tactical knives. But I saw a lot of functionality in this, and I see this as a great utility knife as much as a tactical knife, because it is still considered a tactical knife, just with the finger guard and jimping. Yeah. The only other one that I really liked with SOG was the SOG Spec Elite Mini. As you can see here, chunky little beast of a knife. But part of the reason why I liked it because they had this arc lock, which was once again similar to the axis lock. And so with that being said, that's why these knives are awesome. Can't get this one anymore, but really liked it. So quickly looking at the original SOG Terminus. Here's the blackout edition. We can see the similarities, mostly in the blade shape. It has the same overall profile of the blade. The Terminus XR does seem a little bit more or slightly bigger because it does have that flipper, and so the tang extends a little bit. And on the Terminus, you just have that nub there as far as a finger guard. Also, the Terminus is more of a hollow grind, where the XR is a flat ground, which is nice. I do like that. Or saber grind, excuse me. So this was yeah, and even in the handle, there's definitely similarities. Pocket clips, exactly the same. So this was the first one. This is the new upgraded style. And even before this one, they had a variation with carbon fiber G10, peel ply carbon fiber G10 or whatever it's called. And then it had a BDZ1 blade. But this is D2, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that being said, we're going to jump into comparisons. Obviously, right off the bat, we got to compare it to a Delica. We'll line up the edge of the handles there. So it comes in just under 3 inches. There's the mini grip, and then we'll throw in the Skyline for a reference. So as you can see, The blade is actually shorter than the mini grip, are about the same, but the mini grip has a smaller handle, about the same size blade length as far as the Delica, and the Skyline's obviously bigger. So the handle wise sits somewhere in between. So now looking at blade thickness, the blade thickness on the XR is thicker, handle is thicker as well. Going into the Skyline, the XR is thicker than the Skyline. And then going into the Benchmade, looks pretty even as far as blade thickness and handle thickness wise. About the same. Gotta love the Benchmade. Flipping action is a little bit stronger with this. It seems like the springs that are in this locking mechanism are just stronger. But it is nice that you're able to flip it too. Great, fun flipper. It just looks awesome, guys. I'm telling you, this red one is just killer. There aren't enough like color variations in knives, so I think designers, come on, experiment, get out there, try some stuff. And to me, this is a home run. So the XR lock works great, just like a Axis lock. Though I do like that the actual thumb ramps here to deploy or engage it are actually protruding out. Really easy to grip, where these on Benchmades are usually recessed in. So we'll see. All right, so we got one last test, and I will say this is my first first episode where I'm using my brand new ugly brown glove. I'm sad that my old one has died, but here it is. It's a really dark, deep brown, but it is more or less the same texture, and with time I'm sure it will fade. So right off the bat, the G10's a little bit more smoothed out. There isn't much grip to it. It has more of like a matte finish, and it is chamfered around the edges to make it a little less boxy, which is nice, but it does still seem kind of flat. So if you're looking like perfectly rounded edges, this doesn't totally have it, but overall the fit and finish is pretty solid. Fits good in hand. The jimping, I can find the flipper tab with my thumb, and boom, locked out. There isn't any like deep choils along the profile of the handle, but the jimping on top of the blade, spinal blade, is really well. So I can kind of slide back depending, but I can't push forward. So there's no way my hand's going to slip forward and go onto the blade, which is good. Now these thumb pieces here to close the knife actually are really easy to find, and I can deploy it pretty well with the flipper again. So open, close, open, close. With the thumb studs, works fine as well. So yeah, I'd say it definitely passes for opening and deploying. Overall grip though could be improved, so I'll give it like a solid B. So yes, does it pass? Heck yeah. Solid B with the ugly brown glove. This is the new ugly brown glove, so congratulations to it. And I'm sorry about all the wonky, crazy lighting. So there you have it, guys. This is kind of a long one. I'm going to have to probably re-edit this, but thank you so much. Super excited. And definitely get this knife. Alright guys, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely get this knife. It's totally worth it. Excellent, excellent blade. I will definitely carry the heck out of this knife. Remember, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos here, there. Check that in the upper right-hand corner if it's available. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you outside. Thank you.